your media to appeal to Ghanaians that, please, if you do not have immediate need for a passport, please take your time. Let the time come when you've been given the appointment and come and process. Unless there's an emergency. If there's an emergency, I don't have a problem. If there's an emergency, find a way to get to the passport directors and let them know that there's an emergency, because we make provision for emergency passports.
That was Shelley Ayokoboche. She's Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration.
Now, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is the Honourable Member of Parliament and also a ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament. He speaks on some of these matters, and in the past he's also articulated on similar concerns. He's joined us on the line to help us appreciate some of the matters that the sector minister has raised. Hello, Honourable, good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News. Is the call by the minister a little too late, or is better late than ever in terms of rigging the passport office of Goro boys and all people who may be racketeering in the name of getting passports for people?
Well, good evening to you, to all distinguished listeners. I would choose the latter, better late than never, they say. I have always been for hands-on action, even if it may appear belated, but it does help, particularly as matters were getting out of hand. So I think that the minister deserves some commendation for descending into the passport office and paying a surprise visit, seeing things for herself and taking decisive action. That's hands-on leadership. And we should encourage that, even if it comes late in the day. It's better than leaders checking responsibility, turning a blind eye, and not responding at all. So any day, I will take this half a loaf, which is better than none. Now, having said that, a number of questions arise. Why does it have to take the Honourable Minister to come to the passport office and take action, dismiss overstaying officers, and go after the Goro boys, as we call them? What were the management of the passport office doing? There's a whole director of passports and deputy and a whole management. What were they doing? What does that say about the leadership of the passport office? And what does that say also about the ministry's oversight? Did they have to wait for things to get out of control? The other question is, what are the KPIs? What really are the standards by which the management of the passport office are being assessed? Because as you heard the minister say, our committee in Parliament had cause to summon the ministry and the passport office when we received countless petitions about these matters, including delay and a backlog in passport acquisition. When they appeared before us for a number of days, and these meetings went on for a while. The first meeting, the vendor did not show up, and we took a serious view of that, and warned that he must show up at the next meeting, which he did and duly apologized. After those meetings, a roadmap was agreed on where the backlog will be cleared. What is happening is that you have middlemen in collusion with insiders taking advantage of the backlog. So because there's a backlog, people don't want to join the queue. And they are looking at human intervention, paying bribes, paying more to get ahead of the queue, and then, as it were, shortchange everybody. And so those who insist on doing the right thing, paying the approved fees by Parliament, we should not exceed 150 cities, they are left in the queue for God knows how long. So fundamentally, the backlog has to be cleared. And I recall when we met them, they told us they had about 11,000 people in the backlog. They did explain that the backlog had come about because of COVID and the supply chain issues across the globe. And so that had affected their output. The minister then subsequently assured that they had ordered some giant industrial printers, which will help in cutting through the red tape and clearing the backlog in good time. So we had expected that, and these meetings took place about 4 or 5 months ago. We had expected that based on the roadmap we were given in Parliament at the level of the Foreign Affairs Committee, the backlog will have been substantially cleared and that these matters will have been long addressed. But for it to take the minister to discern herself, it should tell us that clearly there are issues and the minister may have to look at the leadership at the passport office, because how many times can a busy foreign minister have to descend herself into the arena at the passport office when you have management who are expected to do their work. So
it clearly means it clearly means that the systems she's put in place are not working, because she cannot, or as you rightly put it, be descending there every time, ensuring that things are done. And this is just one body or agency under her ministry. There are other places too. So I think shouldn't it really be about getting her or ensuring that the system she puts in place work efficiently and work seamlessly, so that she doesn't have to be going there and seeing these kinds of things, because there are real problems. I mean, people have been in the queue for close to 2 years and they do not have it. So it furthers the racketeering, and it's the rich and the wealthy and the connected who get their way, and the ordinary people suffer. So shouldn't the systems rather be looked at rather than going there to say all those things?
Absolutely, we are adding them. We are on the same page. That's the point I was making, that this approach by the minister, even though belated, even though commendable, is not sustainable. And that's why I have called to question the role of the management at the passport office. There's a whole director, deputies, there's a whole organogram, those in charge of managing the place. What are their KPIs? How did they allow this to get out of hand? So, as we pointed out at the level of the Foreign Affairs Committee, there is the need to clear the backlog. This is a simple matter. Clear the backlog and allow for full automation. Once we clear the backlog and we take out the human factor, where nobody has to go and look for somebody connected to the system, where nobody is required to meet any human interface who is demanding more unapproved fees, we will address this matter so quickly. And the roadmap which we agreed, they should return to that roadmap, quickly clear the backlog, and then allow for full automation. Take out all the human busybodies who have absolutely no business in the chain, so that the computerized system does its work. I mean, not too long ago, a few years ago, the whole process had been automated, and the passport office had come up for high praise. Even at the level of Foreign Affairs Committee, we commended them. It is sad that they have departed from that glorious path and have, if you like, lost luster and have now, veered into this arena of inefficiency, of bribery, and all of this, underhand dealings, which because for some time we even thought that the phenomenon of Goro boys was behind us. It is really regrettable that they have found their way back. So it's a clear matter. Let's make sure that the backlog is dealt with. Then we take out the human interface, the human discretion, bring in the full automation, because we have invested in that. Ghana now has the capacity to do full automation. We approved a lot of funding in Parliament for this full automation. So the system is, we don't have to import any gadget or buy any software. It's fully paid for, fully installed. The industrial printers, my understanding is that they have arrived. So they should get to work and quickly clear the backlog and just take out the human busybodies, allow the automated system to work, and we will be fine.
I see. I mean, in terms of dealing with the backlog, yes. So the giant industrial printers you spoke about and the full automation. You just said they've arrived. I don't know when they arrived, and I don't know. I've not seen the roadmap. But per the roadmap, when were these giant industrial printers supposed or expected to start work?
When we met the committee about 4 months ago, we were told that within the next 2 months. So
we're about 3 months. 3 months past the schedule now, right?
Yes. So it's really worrying that we still have this matter, and from what the minister herself saw yesterday and has been speaking to, it's clear that matters got out of hand and things appear to have deteriorated and degenerated. So it is really now up to the ministry to carry out an incisive action, do a review. Why is the roadmap agreed with Parliament not working? What are the bottlenecks? If it's a management issue, fortunately, this is a ministry with a large pool of talent. The minister can always carry out a reshuffle, and if they have to bring in new management at the passport office to make sure that things work well, work efficiently, and the backlog is cleared, let it be done. If it is also about the private vendors who are not able to keep to their word, I mean, fortunately, this is a very competitive environment. If you have a contract with a vendor who is not living up to expectation, you can use that to show the vendor the door and bring in new vendors who will be more efficient and who will get the job done. I think that the system just needs a certain shakeup at all levels, from management all the way down to the vendor. There's so much business as usual, complacency, and look, minister descending, that is not a sustainable way forward. And so this is not rocket science. We all know what must be done. We met at the committee. When we looked into the matters, it was clear that it's all about the backlog, which has to be clear. It is about the vendors waking up now to their responsibilities. We made it clear to them that, look, it's been a while since this whole COVID supply chain challenges occurred. The system has been eased up. We can no longer accept excuses. So everybody should do what they have to do. We agreed on a roadmap. The roadmap now appears out of gear. It has not been met. And so I expect there to be a shake-up. And in the coming days, certainly the Foreign Affairs Committee we'll be convening another meeting, and we will see what has to be done. Why is it that the roadmap which we agreed on has not been met? But I must also add that another area of concern to us is this sweeping, sanctions, sweeping dismissals. We are only hoping that innocent people are not caught in the web. When ministers are angry and issue these sweeping orders, we just want to hope that it is not a case where innocent, efficient, patriotic public servants may just become collateral damage, may fall victim. So we will still hope that despite the minister's instructions and dismissals, there will at least be some internal disciplinary committee looking at these matters, making sure that those who have erred, those who are collecting the bribes, they should be sanctioned severely. But those who did nothing wrong, who are clean, who are above board, they should be spared. I mean, you are a lawyer, and you know that it will be gross injustice for persons to lose their job or lose their posts when they have not done anything wrong, when they were not part of this whole mess.
I see. Thank you so much, the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa. Thanks so much for speaking to us on this matter. We'll be waiting to see how your committee deals with this. And I'm happy you said the committee will be meeting in the next few days to see what has become of the roadmap and etc. Eyewitness, thanks so much, Honorable. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A few of your comments that have been coming through. Babamu in Tamale says, I think it's unfortunate for some personnel in the passport office to turn it into an avenue to extort money from clients. Kudos to the minister for her intervention. Salam, the only way the minister can stop the Goro men from extortion is to print passports in or on time and also make available materials for printing. Kofi in UEW, Winneba says, Honorable Minister must ensure that passport acquisition is smooth and easy, and Goro job will be eliminated. It's all about demand and supply. Price goes up when demand exceeds supply. John Na Tete from Kofurida says, as long as human beings continue to operate the system, this illegal operation will surface. Again, human beings, we are our own downfall. Stephen in Accra says, Salam, Ghana's passport system is a challenge. A passport application that was submitted and picture taken since January through the normal process was only ready this August. How is it possible, or this possible? Or why should it be so? Meanwhile, people are bypassing the process to get their passports printed. Daniel Akpaliok in Sanema says, bribery and corruption in many of the government institutions has escalated to alarming rates under this government. The worrying part of it is that no officer has severely been sanctioned in this country because of corruption. When I was doing my passport, I paid for express, but it took me more than a month to get my passport. I urge a minister to deal with the officers involved to serve as deterrent to others. Prince Harry in Kofuria says, good evening. The Minister of Foreign Affairs should stop being hypocritical. Why is she not mentioning the names of the regular officers who she claimed are working together with these Goro boys? The future is pregnant, you say. And this is from Prince Henry in Koforidua. Brilliant Fahad bin Okudzeto Central Town constituency says, Madam Sherry Ayoko Bochwe has been a foreign minister for 7 years now. She didn't know some of the officers in the departments are engaged in acts of corruption. So surprisingly, 1 year to exit office before she's knowing this, she should stop misbehaving. Ghanaians will definitely vote them out next year. A call Autry in Shire Hill says, there is no way the rot in any system, whether passport house, Jubilee House, Court House, Parliament House, whatever house, will be sufficiently dealt with when those clothed with power continue with their corruption ways and yet expect those below them to be upright. All right. So these are a few of your comments. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break, return, and do more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you, can't feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now we go to Jessica, the Student Representative Council President of the Jessica College of Education. Freeman Zona has accused the police of assault during a protest they held in the school today. The students were protesting over the poor quality of food served them after the allowance was reduced to augment their ration. So let's deal with this issue in two parts. One is about the protest, which was over the poor quality of food. And number two is about the alleged assault on the SRC president by the police, as he claims. Good evening, sir. SRC President Freeman Zona. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Yeah, so can you tell us really why you embarked on the protest? You said your food was of poor quality?
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Before I start, I would like to correct something. My name is Freeman Zoka.
Oh, Freeman Zoka. Apologies. Yes. Freeman Zoka. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, the issue of this happened because the students are not happy with their dining, breakfast dining. Nothing is being added to the food. Raw porridge from Monday to Sunday without nothing. In fact, sometimes when you go, it's fermented. Yes, and then a lot. And in the morning, they decided not to take this. So none of them went in for the food. And as being the president, they called me around. When I came, not knowing there was policemen around, I'm the leader of the delegation, so they should take me around. I started walking towards the car when one of them held my tra, and then before I realized there was a slap from the back. And it was the student body. It was the student body that rescued me from the police. In fact, the protest was even not about only the food, but also the disconnection of sockets at the ladies' side and some students being retained from writing exam due to their beer and other stuff. In fact, we are going through a lot. Mm-hmm.
I see. So the food, you say you are giving porridge without anything. Without anything means without bread, without sugar, without granules. The porridge doesn't have sugar.
I'll get back to you.
The porridge doesn't have sugar. Hello, Mr. President. Hello, Mr. President. I think, Mr. President, we're having difficulties with Mr. President's line. We will reestablish a connection with him and then put a few questions through to him so we understand the difficulties they are experiencing. So from the Jessica College of Education, we moved to the Kumasi Technical University for some update on the story we carried yesterday in terms of, in respect of the students who failed to register and what has become of their fate.
The management of the Kumasi Technical University has reconsidered its decision to let over 600 students defer their programs following their inability to register their courses for the semester. The university's academic board, at its emergency meeting, agreed to organize special exams for the affected students. Acting University Relations Officer of the KTU, Joshua Pia, encouraged the affected students to promptly get in touch with their respective heads of departments before next Tuesday.
The new directive from academic board is now all the affected students that they are asked to defer for the next academic year. They are now going to organize a special examination for them. So the good news is they are not going to wait to the next academic year. But they are going to organize examination for the special one after this second semester exam. They are not part of the second semester exam. This is a special one that they are going to do for them. And then the directive is that all students, affected students, should register or go to their department, heads of department, and submit their details for consideration by 22nd of August. And this one, I don't think there's going to be any extension. So I am glad that the students should do that. And then they should also make sure that they are in good standing. When I talk of good standing, full payment of fees and penalties, then you should know that that is the consideration that they are going by. So students who have issues should also make sure that they do what is needful before the set date is passed. And also there are students who are in national attachment, they don't write exams, but they need to register. So such students also see their heads of department and make sure they are registered and they don't have issues to continue their program.
That was Acting University Relations Officer of the Kumasi Technical University, Joshua Apia. Now, the affected students who are excited about the latest decision say they will take full advantage of the opportunity.
We were very happy to get that positive news from the management. So at this very moment, I would like to thank the management, especially the VC, the Pro VC, and other management who I can't mention their names over here. That's all that we needed. And now that we've got that opportunity, I have told all the affected students to do their possible best and register for the courses before the due time will affect us again.
They've issued a notice that we should write letter to our HODs and our deans. Then they will register us and we will come back and write. But right now, they've not opened the portal yet. We are just praying that they should open the portal so that we will register our courses. And we thank everybody who helped us in this. And we thank the management of the board for changing their decision too. It wasn't easy, but alhamdulillah.
It wasn't easy. Yesterday, they told us that we are to defer our course. We should defer our course. And in the evening, they brought a communique that the affected students, they will give us a special exams on next week Monday, so we should pay some amount. That's the penalty. So we are waiting for them. So from the affected students, we say a very big thank you.
You heard some students of the Kumasi Technical University.
Now let's return to our earlier story on the Jasikan College of Education protest and what the students have been saying. Freeman Zoka, who is the SRC president, was speaking to us a couple of minutes ago, but we lost the connection to him. He's back on the line. Hello, Mr. President. Welcome again to the program. So you said that you are fed only porridge in the morning without anything. Without anything means there's no bread, there's no sugar, there's no granules, there's nothing?
Yes, white porridge from Monday to Sunday without anything. Sometimes not even sugar in it.
But why? When did this start? Because I'm not sure that has been the situation all along. When did this start?
This whole year. This is whole year. That's how it was. And they only complain they have not paid the feeding grant. As I speak to you now, they've paid the feeding grant getting to 1 month now.
All right.
Yes.
So as SRC president, have you made any representation to the authorities of the school so you officially hear from them on this? And if you've done so, what have they been telling you?
Yes, I did that on 3 occasions. They told me they don't take information from students. They take information from the top. They don't take information from readers. So as and when they receive the information, that's when they will start. But we to ask our mother association, TAC, gave us a letter concerning that. So we tried working with that, but they couldn't.
They don't take information. What information from you? How about the payment of the feeding grant?
Yes, when they receive something, they are not to take information from us. In fact, Me myself, I couldn't sleep in my cubicle yesterday because of attacks by students. The warnings, I have to sleep in the office. Rockets, when they came to knock today, about 18 guys came to knock my door. I didn't open it.
No, but if feeding grants have been paid, I mean that should be common knowledge. I mean your school authorities should know that. You don't have to bring it to their attention. So have you tried to find out from other sources whether indeed the feeding grants have been paid on? Because I don't see why feeding grants will be paid which will be public knowledge, and they will claim it's not been paid.
Yes, I did that from our authorities and even some of my colleagues in other colleges. They told me the feeding grants have been paid, and some of them their food has been enriched. But we're still in the same soup.
I see. And why will your colleague students be wanting to attack you? Because you don't provide.
They claim I'm not channeling their information. I tried calming them down because I was working on issue, but the issue is getting out of hand. Me myself, I was not happy with it.
I see, but I don't. Well, I don't see why they should seek to attack you to the extent that you cannot even sleep in your dormitory.
They wanted me to lead in this, but I told them I just want them to do whatever they can do now.
Oh, are you not checking your responsibility towards them as a leader then?
I did all they could, but it's like our leaders are not willing to listen to us.
Then you don't have to remain at post then, because once you're at post, I mean, you bear the responsibility. You must push until you get results.
Yes. So that's how come this happened today. That's how come. And today they are here telling us that they ordered for the things and they are on the way coming and other stuff.
All right. So tell us how it works. So at teacher training colleges, you are now a tertiary institution, are you not?
Yes, please.
Yet you take allowances. You don't take loans like what your counterparts in the universities do. You take allowances.
Yes.
And on top of that, you are fed 3 square meals a day.
Yes.
And you're saying the meals given you are not up to the right quality.
No, not at all.
So if you were to be asked to cater for yourselves like the regular other tertiary institution students do, would that be welcoming news for you?
You see, some of them came here purposely because of those things, because of the help, that's the allowance and the feeding. Yes. So the reason being that our allowance have been reduced with 51 cedis to supplement the feeding, and they are still giving us those things. That's what they are not happy with. But in fact, the allowance and the feeding are the reason why some people are in college now. Yes.
I see. And you said the police manhandled, they handled you in a manner that was not appropriate. And what have you done?
As if I'm a criminal.
Just because your colleagues were protesting?
As like she claimed I'm the one leading the delegation. I don't know if she even knows about my position. He just slapped me. And in fact, that's what I want to take on now.
So who is this police officer? Did you see his or her name tag?
No, I didn't see the name. We only have picture of her, and it's in the town.
So when you see her, you can make her out?
Oh yes, the picture is there. You can quickly make her out.
So what do you hope to do about that?
Yes, that's what why I'm calling on media to come in to help me with that.
I see. You sound tired. I mean, being the SRC president for your colleagues. I mean, is it a case that you want to throw in the towel, resign, and have your peace?
No, I've been handed over to not even up to a month yet.
Oh, it's not even up to a month, and you already sound so tired.
Yes, but I still have the strength to continue the journey.
I see. I can only wish you the best, and then we hope that your struggles, see some success. All right. Thank you so much, SRC President Freeman Zoka of the Jasikan College of Education, speaking to us. And now let's speak to authority. Let's speak to the public relations officer for the Jasikan College of Education on the concerns raised by the students. Richard Sichip is that man in charge of communications in the school. Good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. Your students say that they've been fed the same food since January, and they are not happy with that. You feed them porridge, sometimes without sugar, without bread, or without granules, and that cannot be correct.
Okay.
Yes, is that the case?
Yeah, that's the case, because we're not fed well. So this morning we protest for that, because sometimes we have been suffering when it regards to food area. Sometimes we used to take those days we used to have...
No, excuse me. Are you the public relations officer of the school?
Yes, please.
And you work in the school administration?
Yeah, I'm working with the president, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you are the PRO of the SRC?
Yes, I'm the mapping of the president.
Oh, I see. I thought we were speaking to the PRO of the school as in part of administration. But let me just understand the concerns. So you've been fed the same food. So how about lunch and dinner are okay, right?
Yeah, because of that, sometimes we are not fed well. Those days we were using the menu, but now because of other things, we are not fed well. Especially the breakfast area, we are not happy with the way we are fed.
I see.
We used to take breakfast porridge with granite, porridge with bread and other things, donuts and other things. But nowadays we don't take it. So students have been complaining too much. So today it has called for demonstration and we protest for that.
But why won't you feed yourselves? Why won't you stop taking food from the dining hall and feed yourselves? Because your colleagues in other tertiary institutions feed themselves. After all, you also have allowances, which come monthly.
Yeah, the thing is that sometimes the government always paid our feeding fee. So to understand that the feeding fee were not able to sustain us, so they deducted our allowances to 1 cedi each to make the food nice. Because we are not seeing those things, that is why we protested.
1 cedi each? 1 cedi a day or how?
No, 51 Ghana cedi from our alawa.
But how much is the alawa itself?
Alawa is 400, but 200 cedi will be going for feeding fee.
Alawa is how much? 400. And yes, they deduct how much for feeding?
Yes, the 200 cedi will be going to the feeding fee.
So if they had to stop the deduction and they paid you your whole alawa, would that be better?
Yes.
So that you feed yourselves?
Hello, I'm not getting involved.
No, what I mean is, you said they deduct some amount of money to augment.
Yeah, they deduct 61 Ghana cedi from alawa again, because the 200 cedi is not written as. So they deducted 61 Ghana cedi to the 200 cedi they have been taken as the feeding program.
I see.
Because we also heard that 61 Ghana cedi is being deducted, and we are not fed well. That is why we protest for that.
So will you call for a cancellation of the feeding itself in the colleges of education so that you guys will take care of yourselves?
No.
Why not? Your colleagues in other tertiary institutions take care of themselves.
Yeah, we are even though we are in college, we are in the college of education. We only feed, the government only feed us with the college of education.
And gives you allowances?
Hello?
Yes, government feeds you and gives you allowances. Your colleagues take loans, which they pay back later.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Richard Sichib, the PRO for the SRC of Jasikan College of Education. Thanks so much for speaking to us on Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break, return, tell you more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yeah, Charlie, so many vibes and I want 10 father, my sanaba. My mini papa and you're not for more fear no more quintum. Trebiania, so a maniscaco fear and fancy that near fear for a bit for Javasi no parking. A bear man Sujai Casa. Thanks to Sukasa, how to your nature. Sukasa see a damn brony friend affordable luxury homes, or more 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, where you're fully gated or grants and communities, or more malls, clubhouse, and all social amenities, plus 24-hour security. Almost our flexible payments, and yeah, I know my dear at Dalcasa, plus 100% guaranteed cashback. Yes, 100% guaranteed cashback. No quick finances stories. Contact Sukasa right now through phone calls or WhatsApp on 030-296-0865 and now 055-369-7886. Charlie social media so more, baby. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Sukasa GH. Email Susie at info@sukasa.com.gh. Sukasa, building on trust.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, the low burst line. A little tight by the hips. Covered sleeves. Off shoulder. Definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coartem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coartem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Now, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Korte, has directed Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives in Accra to immediately enact a bylaw restricting the use of tricycles, also known as pragya, in the Central Business District. Tricycle operators in Kumasi in the Ashanti region recently clashed with the police officers, enforcing a ban on the movement of tricycles within the Central Business District, leading to the arrest of 12 of the protesters. Speaking at an engagement with MMDCs in Accra, the regional minister, Henry Korte, urged them to take immediate steps in ensuring the prosecution of persons who defy the directive.
If you recall, 2 years ago, we did for Aboboya and people complained because I saw this coming when I went to Kumasi about 3-4 years ago. And we did say pragya should not be operating within the CBD. AMA, I've noticed that's around Agbogbloshie and some places of UTC. I see pragya there. They are coming up. The movement of pragya in the CBD is restricted. No. All those within there, you should ensure your task force will start, pass a bylaw quickly, please. When you go back, pass your bylaws on that one. It shouldn't just be word of mouth, so that you can have some gravitas, a leg to stand on, and then you prosecute them. So I don't know how long that will take. Presiding members, can you ensure this is passed quickly? Oh, we want immediately, something quickly so we can take it to Asempa for it to be gazetted. The pragya, you must have bylaws to stand on. It can't just be word of mouth. Can all of you call a General Assembly meeting and get it passed? Yes. So let's say between today and coming Wednesday week, can we have your reports so that we can go and have it gazetted? MMDCs, are we okay? CBD, maybe in areas like Ada and things, you can leave it. The remote areas, Dangbe areas, leave it. Yes, so let's be strategic. Amasaman, you leave it. Amasaman, Obom, Weja, Ablekuma, yes. So we are going to do AMA. Please, let's look at it. AMA, Okankwe, the 3 Okankwes.
The regional minister, Henry Korte, also speaking ahead of the celebration of the annual Homoa Festival, announced a ban on the use of party paraphernalia to ensure a violence-free festivity.
We started something 4 or 5 years ago at Ada, and it has worked at Asafotufiam. No hoisting of party paraphernalia whatsoever. So far, by the grace of God, in the last 5 years, Homowo Asafotufiam, or celebration of Asafotufiam, has been very successful without any party color. I want to put before the House, can we say in Accra that going forward, celebration of all festivals, there should be no party paraphernalia whatsoever? Would that be fine? So is that the pleasure of the House? Let's see by hand. At the close of the meeting, it has been decided that going forward, all celebration of festivals in Accra, there should be no party paraphernalia whatsoever from Ada to Langba. In fact, that one is a ban. Ban on the use of any party paraphernalia during festivals in the Greater Accra region. It's a complete ban. No T-shirt, no flag, nothing.
That was Henry Korte, his Greater Accra regional minister.
So after that meeting, a resolution was passed on the operations of tricycles and ban on party paraphernalia during festivals. And I read verbatim that resolution passed at the end of the meeting. So it says that the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council the highest decision-making body of the region, at its general meeting held on the 14th of August 2023, noted with grave concern the unregulated activities and operations of tricycles, popularly called Pragia and Aboboya, within the central business district as well as some principal streets in Accra. The situation has resulted in heavy traffic congestion and chaotic scenes with indiscriminate parking and flouting of traffic regulations, amongst others. The council therefore deems it very imperative and urgent to regulate the movement of these Pragias and Aboboyas and create a conducive environment for businesses to thrive and for the comfort of travelers. At the meeting underscored the peace prevailing in the region and affirmed the importance of unity among the chiefs and people by ensuring division is prevented during festivals. The council has therefore resolved as follows. 1. A restriction on the movement of Pragia and Aboboya in the central business districts of the Accra Metropolitan, Krowo, Kole Klote, Tema Metropolitan, Ladade Kotopon, Lankwantanai Madina, East, Ayawaso East, Ayawaso West, Ayawaso Central, Ayawaso North, Lejokuku, Okankwe North, and Adentan Municipal. 2. To enforce the ban on the use of Aboboya on the motorway and principal streets in the region. 3. A ban on the use of party paraphernalia during festivals in the region. No hoisting of flags or wearing of party attires, among others. The council charged all metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives and their presiding members to ensure that all metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies sensitize the public and subsequently pass a bylaw to promote the implementation of these resolutions. We urge all citizens in the Greater Accra region to support this campaign in our collective efforts to make Greater Accra work. Thank you. Signed by the Regional Minister Henry Korte MP. Well, we are produced or purpose to speak to the minister, but it's unfortunate that we are unable to reach him at this point. We wanted to interrogate some of the issues of the resolutions further, especially the ban on party paraphernalia during festivals and what the modalities will be also for the ban on the Aboboya on the motorway and other principal streets, whether there are alternate routes that these Aboboya and Pragia could use if they want to get to the other side of town. But I guess we'll do that some other time. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. It's time for Citi Business News. And Nilate Late is sitting across me. We'll do that just after the break.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. It's powered by citibusinessnews.com. I am Ni Latte. Details now. Consumers of rice may in the coming days pay more for the grains as importers of rice are projected to face about 40% reduction in imports. This is according to the Competitive Africa Rice Platform. This comes on the back of India's decision that it would restrict export of non-basmati rice to calm domestic rice prices that had risen more than 30% since October 2022. In a Citi Business News interview, the chairman of the Competitive Africa Rice Platform, Yao Edupoku, further impressed on financial institutions to offer the needed support to local rice farmers to boost their production to meet rice demands.
Ghana imports significant amount of rice from India in various brands. So, of the volume of imports that come into Ghana, we should be prepared to lose about 40% of that, if not more. If not more, because the other export countries have also hiked up their prices, some 12, some 15, almost 20%. So what it means is that prices are going to go up, and it is going to affect the ordinary consumer. rice farming is a technical situation. So you need to put in amenities that will let it work, which is not available because the cost of funding, the cost of financing. The financial institutions in the country will not touch agriculture. They all pay lip service to agriculture, including the Bank of Ghana and then the leadership. So getting finance to make agriculture really work and viable is non-existent. This is where the problem is.
That was chairman of the Competitive Africa Rice Platform, Yao Edupoku. Meanwhile, Ghana's import exceeded exports by 4.5 billion Ghana cedis in 2022 alone, according to the Ghana Statistical Services Made in Trade Vulnerability Report. The most glaring difference materialized in September, with imports surging past exports by 4.5 billion Ghana cedis. Furthermore, the report highlights that Ghana's imports spanned across 209 countries, significantly contrasting with the 161 countries involved in its export activities. Here is government statistician Professor Samuel Kobnai presenting the report's findings.
Then the second thing that we look at broadly is, over the 12-month period in 2022, how did it vary across the 12 months? And particularly what we see here is that, given that overall we had more imports than exports, culminating in the trade deficit of 4.5 billion, in 9 out of the 12 months for 2022, consistently we saw higher imports over exports. Consistently, 9 months out of the 12 months. So predominantly it confirms that overall annual figure of a 4.5 billion deficit between the two. And what we realize is that in the month that exports peaked was at variance with the month that imports peaked. So exports peaked in the month of November 2022, whereas imports peaked in the month of September 2022. What this trend analysis is doing for us is that over the period we need to understand how does this relate to different seasonalities of commodities that we produce locally in the country. And this is the data integration that we talked about earlier on. Although this report is on trade vulnerabilities, our expectation is that there will be a conversation between the Ministry of Trade and Industry and in particular the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to begin to think about the different seasonalities that we have in the country and how this can transform into the different export arrangements that we are thinking about.
Professor Samuel Kobnai is government statistician. Away from that, and Republic Bank Ghana PLC is projecting its total asset to reach about 7 billion Ghana cedis by the close of the financial year ending December 31, 2023. Per the bank's half-year financial statement, the asset base currently stands at 6.2 billion Ghana cedis. The bank is targeting to grow this further through its unique mortgage and financing. Managing Director of Republic Ghana PLC Benjamin Joboku tells Citi Business News that the bank will focus on other critical aspects of its operations to increase performance and reflect continued growth in total assets, investments, and deposits.
We continue to drive our strategy so that they can deliver on our strategies. We'll continue to look at our mortgage business as well. And then 3, we'll look at our business that we have for the corporate, as I said earlier on, the energy, the agribusiness, the education, and then the SME will focus on that. And then we'll also focus on generating more liabilities to enable us grow the books that we. At the end of the year, I think we should be hitting a total asset of about 7 billion. Currently, we are about 6.2 billion. And by December, we'll cross 7 billion Ghana cedis as our total asset.
Benjamin Joboku is the Managing Director of Republic Bank Ghana PLC. And finally, the African Continental Free Trade Area AfTA says its Memorandum of Understanding with United Bank of Africa, UBA, and Equity Bank to provide funding for small and medium enterprises, SMEs, within its member states will boost inter-African trade among SMEs. Speaking at CATS International's 40th anniversary celebration on the theme Building Momentum Towards AfTA Implementation, the Chief of Staff of AfTA Secretariat, Silva Ojako, announced that the two banks have invested $6 billion each to capacity building for players within the SME space.
Currently, we also have partnerships with the United Bank of Africa, as well as with the Equity Bank. These are commercial banks. And the secretariats have signed memoranda of understanding with the two commercial banks to boost SME participation in the intra-Africa trade. And through these partnerships, the UBA, the United Bank of Africa, we dedicate $6 billion to the capacity building as well as financing of the SME to enable their participation in the AfCFTA and in intra-Africa trade. A similar amount of money has been dedicated by Equity Bank for SME trading across the continent.
Chief of Staff of AFTA Secretariat, Silva Ojako, ending. Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. My name is Nii Latte. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you. Can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Tell you guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
It's 23 minutes to the top of the hour. This is the Point Blank segment of Eyewitness News. Tonight on Point Blank, my guest is the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority. The whole of this month has been designated a Youth Month. What does that mean at all? Are the youth of Ghana aware of this? What are they supposed to be doing in the course of the month? Also, my guest, who is Pius Hajide, wants to go to Parliament. He wants to represent the people of Sujaman. Sujaman is in the eastern region. And we will have a chat on national issues as well. Pius, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Salom.
It's been a while. Should I take it that you've been working hard at the NYA? I mean, it's been a while since we've spoken, but a while since we met.
That's very true. And my warm regards to your good self and to the cherished listeners of Citi FM. It's been a while. we have been kept very busy looking after the well-being and welfare of the young people of our country at the National Youth Authority. These days we have a little less time for the media. When we were serving our time as Deputy Minister of Information, we were here regularly. Right now, our feet are on the ground more than our voices on radio.
But shouldn't you have a fine combination of the two? Because I mean, the youth are on media as well, and you need to reach them. You need to reach out to them there as well, whilst you're on the ground too. So I think the balance must be finer than you are doing currently.
I agree, and it is in response that we are here this afternoon. We are also heavy on social media. The young people are consuming a lot of content also on social media. I do agree that we need to find some balance, but we want to focus on the substantive work of building an enabling environment for youth development in our country. And we will find some time to also come by to report through you to the good people of our country, especially the young people of our country, on their government's programs and interventions towards their empowerment and development.
So when you talk about the substantive issues, I mean, building an enabling environment for the development of the youth of the country or the growth of the youth of the country, what really do you mean? What really is the job of the National Youth Authority? We know we have the Ministry of Youth and Sports, we have the youth wing of political parties, we have a lot of youth groups and everybody trying to appeal to the youth, etc. What does the National Youth Authority do in terms of building an enabling environment for the youth of the country?
Yeah, thank you very much. Salom, you know that our governance structure, we have ministries that are supposed to be in charge of general policy formulation, supervision, and monitoring and evaluation. But the ministries have agencies that do implementation. And so ours is one of the key agencies of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I know that there's a National Sports Authority as also another implementing agency, and the Winneba Sports College. So the National Youth Authority is a specialized agency of state responsible for the formulation and design and implementation of policies that create the enabling environment that facilitates the total and holistic development of the youth of our country. And we do this through what I call broadly the upstream and the downstream approaches. Upstream approaches border on general policy formulation and policy implementation tracking. For instance, there is the need for a development framework that guides the holistic development of the youth of our country. And the National Youth Authority leads in the formulation of the National Youth Policy. When this administration took over, we inherited a policy document which was outdoored in 2010, and then its implementation plan was also outdoored in 2014. There's a gap of about 4 years. It was our view that the document we inherited had to be developed further. We held the view that it was not comprehensive enough and looked more like the strategic plan of the National Youth Authority rather than a development framework for the young people in entirety. Because you see, youth as a generational concept, we have challenges across board, cross-cutting. The youth, for instance, have aspirations and views in education, especially at the higher level, tertiary education. People are being taught coding. People are being taught robotics elsewhere. And we are learning the day that Diego de Azambuja landed on the shores of Elmina, for instance. And the young people have been complaining that what they are being taught does not prepare them adequately for the future of work. That our curriculum does not reflect the needs of industry in a more direct and responsive manner. And so there is the need to review our academic curricula. So as the agency responsible for policy formulation, we will consult and then we will crystallize all the views and aspirations of the youth into a blueprint, a document. So in the National Youth Policy document, for instance, you will see that the young people have, and Cabinet has approved the position of the young people themselves, that there is the need for a paradigm shift in our educational philosophy, and that we should begin to focus on what prepares the young people for the future of work.
But is that not what the education ministry should be doing, even without prompting from anybody?
No. The education ministry is supposed to develop educational policies, but I'm saying that the policies affect young people. So the young people themselves have a vested interest in also discussing and speaking about these matters. And so their views and their own aspirations have to be crystallized in a blueprint. And it's not just in education. It goes through health, drug and substance abuse issues. It goes through interior security and extreme radicalism and those ones. So you have to have a holistic document that addresses the myriad of challenges confronting the young people of our country. So you do that through a development framework known as the youth policy. Then, because you are not the Ministry of Education or you are not the NACA that does curriculum development, what you now do is to do implementation tracking, and you monitor that the views as captured in the policy document approved by the government's, Mr. President's cabinet, is what exactly is being done. So now you notice that there is a paradigm shift, and we are focusing on technical and vocational education.
So that's what the young people want?
That's what the young people want.
Or that's what they must want?
Well, no, that's what they must want, and that's what they want. You understand? So there's a confluence between what they must want and what they want. And the engagement with the young people will isolate the matter of what is it that you want. Because we are saying that nothing for the youth without the youth. The youth themselves must be consulted in discussions that border on their own future. So that is what they want, and that is what they must want. Now, at the National Youth Authority, it's our responsibility to track that the framework that we have accepted and adopted for youth development to make the Ghanaian youth to become responsible and responsive adults are actually permeating through, and that we are following through on the things, the to-dos that we have listed in the policy document. So at the National Youth Authority, we do broadly the upstream work, which is policy formulation, policy implementation tracking, and then downstream, we also implement directly some programs that is aimed at developing the youth, that is aimed at creating the environment that enables the young people to grow and prosper into responsible and responsive.
Very well. What do the young people say about jobs and unemployment? A lot of them leave the universities or leave the schools. Even those who have even had tertiary education, a lot of them are all over the place wanting jobs. I don't know how concerned the National Youth Authority is about that and what the National Youth Authority can do, because you will be a beneficiary of general government success. And if government is not doing well and industry is not churning out the jobs, the young people will suffer, and that will become your concern. So what are they telling you, and what are you doing about that?
Correct. Youth employment or youth unemployment is a major concern to us, and it's a concern to the young people themselves. During our consultations towards the development of the National Youth Policy, which was outdoored on the 12th of August last year, during the consultations, the young people were unequivocal. They were clear that this is a national security threat and it should be dealt with. Government has responded positively. First of all, we understand that the state has to play a role by recruitments into the public space. However, there's an admission that the public sector alone cannot deal with the humongous problem of youth unemployment, and that the private sector should be leveraged. In fact, the more sustainable and realistic way to deal with youth unemployment is through the private sector. It has the capacity, the absorptive capacity lies within the private sector. So we have to create the environment that allows the private sector to thrive, to be able to onboard the people who need the jobs. We have to create the environment for the young people themselves.
But are we creating that? I mean,
Yes,
it's been talked for a long time. Are we really creating that?
No, we are. And I will give you a few examples. And I know that I don't want to sound like a broken record, but there are many interventions that have been rolled out to, for instance, stabilize our power generation and distribution, which is a major step forward in terms of the needs of industry, so that resources can be freed for people to be brought on board. But beyond that, the young people themselves, their can-do spirit, their entrepreneurial spirit has to be leveraged. And we know that the Ghanaian young person is able and willing to employ not himself, but to create our commonwealth. But there are barriers, for instance, to finance. And that is why you will notice that the Youth Start intervention seeks to inject some 10 billion into the Ghanaian economy over the next couple of years to create some 1 million jobs. Because a young person who wants to do some meaningful medium to small scale to medium scale enterprise, okay, could be Mash Kenke, could be Wache, could be Sobolo, does not have the wherewithal to go to the competitive commercial bank and provide the collaterals needed and those ones. That's a barrier.
Is that what we should be looking at really? Sobolo, Ice Kinky and things, when our counterparts in other parts of the world are doing more serious things, you know. So yes, it's good. It's a good starting point. But shouldn't we be learning to punch above that weight a bit?
I'm just giving you an example. There are people who are doing fantastic. The Ghanaian young person is very creative at heart and is willing and is very knowledgeable. And I'm just giving you examples. But of course, you know that if we encourage the production of the healthier Ghanaian Sobolo over the
sugary drinks,
and then fizz drinks that we are importing into the country, all the better for us, okay? So, and our Ghanaian Sobolo can break out like Coca-Cola broke out, like Pepsi broke out, and we can make multi-millionaires from that angle as well. So, there's nothing, if you may, too I don't know about a job like that.
I see.
So I'm just giving you an example, but I'm saying that there are barriers. You see, there are barriers that we have to look at, and these matters are addressed through policy. And I'm saying that the Youth Start intervention, for instance, the NEIP, National Entrepreneurial Innovation Plan, for instance, is one of the practical interventions of government to remove that barrier, so that the young people can create wealth for themselves and create our commonwealth.
I see.
Also, the erstwhile moribund National Board for Small-Scale Industries is now being revamped and repositioned and resourced into the Ghana Enterprises Agencies and agency, and it's doing fantabulous things. It's doing fantastic, and they are putting monies into Ghanaian businesses, and we are hoping that we are starting the journey to create the Dangotes of our time and the Kwame Despies of our time. People, the young people of our country are being enabled to be able to create those jobs that we want here within Ghana. However, at the same time, in record terms, increased recruitments are being made into the public sector. But you see, you need an efficient public sector to be able to service a performing private sector. So the public sector in itself cannot be the solution. It can only be a facilitator to the solution.
I see. The young people, a lot of them have taken to betting because they don't seem to have a clearer path to employment. So when they get some little money, they venture into betting. Now the government is going to start taxing earnings from betting. Majority leader says the right thing to do because betting makes you lazy, etc. Some of the young people haven't been happy about that. You don't give me job, now I find a way of earning some little money, and you're going to tax that as well. What are the young people telling you about taxing betting?
You see, we have a duty to create responsive and responsible citizens, young people to be good adults for the future. And we have discussed this matter thoroughly at the National Youth Authority, and we are appalled at the proliferation of these betting schemes and how, in our view, it is destroying our moral fiber and destroying our value systems.
But you allow them in. you allow them in. So you allow them in.
So I don't know if you say you mean Pastor Ajide or what.
No, your government. Government allows them in.
No, you don't say our government. And I didn't want to begin to do the blame game. Yes, government is a continuum. Maybe we should not have, but this happened long before some of us.
And they've grown. A lot of them are coming up
Absolutely,
now.
and we have been moving.
We are not controlling them.
Well, that's why right now you see that through this tax measure, we are seeking to disincentivize this culture that we are building.
But you tax their profits. So if you tax the earnings, you are punishing the young people, which is fine. But you don't leave the people who are creating the problem go away with huge profits. Tax
I'm saying that we should discourage the young people from betting in the first place.
But there's a demand for it. There's
but
demand.
I'm saying that it's a misplaced demand.
Because they get money from there. I mean, they don't get money elsewhere.
If they got money from betting, the betting companies would have collapsed. The betting companies are getting money from the ones.
It's a win-win, is it not?
No, it is not. It cannot be a win-win.
No, but they gain.
They are not a charity institution.
Yes, but the young people gain.
They think that they gain.
Enjoy it.
No, they think that they gain, but in fact they don't gain. If they were actually gaining, then the betting companies would have been folding up. They would have been making losses. The betting companies are thriving because they are in good business. But you are thinking that they are gaining. It cannot be a win-win.
I think it's win-win.
Every good
business, serves the needs of the people and also serves their needs.
No, I disagree completely. For one to continue to be in business, you have to be making profits.
I see.
So how do you calculate profits? You're calculating profit when you take away your expenses and you pay all that you have to pay. The money
what
that
is left is
your profit. So if the revenue comes in through the betting, and your expenditure is the winnings that you pay. You did the balancing. What is left is what you call profit. You continue to get more of that. It means that you are paying less in winnings.
So
as
the National Youth Authority supports the fact that earnings from betting must be taxed.
I think that our view is that government should actually do more
in terms of
discourage.
Taxing.
It could be through taxing. It could be through public education and sensitization. We have to have a conversation about the general value system and mindset reorientation of our country. Look,
well.
I had the unpleasant duty of watching a Ghana versus a country when we were playing the World Cup. The country scored Ghana. I was at the center when young Ghanaians were jubilating. We found out later that for some of them, the motivation was that they had betted against Ghana.
But if Ghana is playing Brazil, Ghana will not win.
But you see, you think you take it for granted. But if you allow this kind of mentality to sink in, and we are producing a country of young people betting against their country and putting their coin on another country, we are creating a dangerous precedence.
They are supporting competence.
No, it may look innocuous to you.
They are supporting competence.
But I'm saying that there is something that we call patriotism and nationalism. That competence, the so-called competence you are discussing, collapses before. You understand? And so if you are putting your money on another country, and as a young man in your formative years, that is the training we are putting into you, and you grow with that mentality. My brother, we are creating a time bomb for ourselves.
Very well. But my guest is Pius Enam Hajide, the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority. We're having a discussion generally around the National Youth Authority, etc., and what they've been doing. The matter of the betting has come up. He thinks it's a good thing that government will discourage the young people from betting, and that's quite controversial. I'm not sure if the young people are happy with that, but that is the position that the authority takes, and he's justified that. He of course, he's also running for Parliament. He wants to go to Parliament on the ticket of the MPP at the Asujaman constituency in the Eastern region. So Pius, I mean, let's talk politics, mainstream politics. You want to go to Parliament. I thought you were doing a great job at the National Youth Authority. Why do you want to leave that place and go join 274 others in Parliament to be making laws when you are making impact from what you're saying at the NYA?
Well, ours is a call to serve. We have responded to the people's call, the voice
so
of...
the people have called upon you to run.
The voice of the people is the voice of the Lord. We have prepared ourselves. We have a track record in public service in this country. We continue to serve our communities. The chiefs and the people of my party and the entire constituency in Esojaman believe that we deserve and desire a better representation in Parliament. Somebody who is humble and still bold, somebody who is able to connect with other stakeholders and lobby around so that the
current MP
challenges...
is not, Thomas Nyako Ampim is not doing that. Is that what you are alluding to?
Well, the view of the people who have approached me are that, the views of those people are that Esojaman deserves better.
So if there are two things you want to do for the people of Esojaman, what would those two things be?
There are many things. You see, Esojaman should become Ghana's tourism destination center of choice. We have the flora, the fauna, and all that is needed. And it's not too far from Accra. We need somebody who can lead us to package Esojaman and sell Esojaman to the world so that we can attract millions of tourism dollars that can impact the local economy.
And all the MPs in the past have not done that.
Well, I can speak to the sterling performances of, for instance, Honorable Osameao, who was in Parliament between 2004 and 2008, and also between 2012 and 2016.
Because he was an MPP MP?
No, because there is vivid evidence on the ground of what he has been able to do. And we believe that we need to develop upon what has been done and do even better.
But there are 3 or 4 others also in the run. I mean, the running for the spots. You know, how different is Pius? Why should delegates vote for Pius and not any of the other people?
Well, delegates will vote for Pius because delegates admit that Pius is a more strategic candidate. I mean, you go to a constituency where there are 4 major languages that are spoken, and none other than Pius speaks more than one of the languages. How is that possible that you are even able to communicate your issues and your plans, even if you had any? You don't speak the people's language. I speak the vast majority of the languages spoken in the community, which are the Tree language, the Krobo language, the Ewe language, and the Guan language. These are the major
you speak which of them?
Languages. I mean, you know.
You speak Tree, you speak Ewe?
Yes, and I also do well in Krobo.
I see. I didn't know that.
So I'm strategic to the extent that we are able to use Pius to galvanize our base, the core voters, the MPP core voters. Pius is able to connect with them because Pius has stayed all his life within the constituency and worked and helped the people of Esojaman. So the people can attest to Pius's determination and commitment on the ground. And so Pius is able to galvanize the base, our core voters. And at the same time, Pius is able to attack NDC strongholds, okay, because of his strategic nature. And I said to you that he, for instance, can't speak more than one of the languages.
We'll go to the Ewe places and speak Ewe and rap them and sell MPP messages for them.
NDC strongholds and turn them from the World Bank that they claim those communities are to microfinance branches, and therefore position the NPP and its parliamentary candidate to win. So Pius is younger, dynamic. Pius is resourceful. If I say resourceful, I'm not talking about having loads of money, but having the social capital to be able to connect.
And the fact that Pius is the chief executive of the NYA obviously is an advantage in galvanizing the young people as well.
Absolutely. And the young people form the vast majority of the voters in our country. Between the ages of 15 to 35, there are about some 12 million people, about 38.2%. If you expanded it to about 40 years, we are talking about some 70% of the population of the young people of Ghana are people below 40 years, and I'm one of them. So I can relate and connect with them better. And the people know that when we talk about service, not just to the party, but to the community, Pius stands tall amongst all the other brilliant.
You have so you have 2 key things to do. One, win the party's flag. I mean, nomination.
Correct.
And then now go ahead and beat the incumbent MP, who is NDC.
Yes.
So these are 2 difficult things to do. Well, we will have to end it here, and we only wish you
God be in our help.
Yes, we only wish you the best, and we hope to speak again. when the contest gets hotter. When is the election? Sometime next year?
I am not advised of when the election is, and I'm worried. And I want to use this opportunity to appeal to my party. I've filed nominations, and you asked me the question, when is the elections, and I don't know. And I think that there's something that we have to discuss. Maybe not on radio, but definitely the party needs to create a platform for some of us to ventilate on these issues. I mean, the uncertainty within the arrangements
it's not helping.
Is not helping.
I see.
And we need to talk about it.
I see. Thanks so much, Pius Hajide. That's Pius Hajide, Enam Hajide, Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, and also an aspirant for the MPP at the Esujaman constituency. He wants to oust Thomas Nyakuam Pim, who is the current MP in the area. We can only wish him the best and hope that the contest goes smoothly. So, Pius, thanks so much for coming. That's how we end the program for today. My name is Selom Adunu. Earlier, you heard Akosia Ochri, show produced by Nana Kopner-Wells in Dublin, London, and Sami. We have a technical assistance given by Desmond Nyako, and social media and social media assistance or support given by Daniel Abugri. In fact, Daniel Squashi gave technical assistance. I'll catch you again same time tomorrow. All the best.